What's going on, people? This is your boy Thano. You watching Thano at Self-Help. Regular people helping each other help themselves. I don't have a whole lot of commentary for you today, but this is basically what we're doing is following up on this case with Kenneka Jenkins. From what I've gathered so far, I have a news clip for you. You can check that out, and some information from another gentleman's channel that I found interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is true, but what he's saying, I don't necessarily mean that I'm advocating and saying that I believe it's true, but it is certainly interesting. For the longest time, I felt that I was waiting for a video. Rest of the video. Show us the rest of the video. They said there is no video of her walking into the freezer. So if this is true, then this is negligence on behalf of the hotel. It was already a clear case of that, either way. But, aside from that, a clear case of negligence on behalf of the hotel. Looking at the video, and this is something that you'll see in the clip that I'm gonna, provide at the end of this commentary. It's very easy to edit that video, edit a person out of a video. But basically, looking at the way she was walking, would it make sense that someone was leading her to the freezer? Well, if they were leading her to the freezer and she was alive up to that point, what happened when she got there? Was there any sign of struggle? Even though she was very obviously impaired, and it appeared to be under the influence of something, leading her to this place. It seems that if they were leading her there, then they were leading her to the place where they planned to kill her. So if they edited someone out of that video, where is the sign of struggle once inside the freezer? And if there was signs of struggle, but this is something that was cleaned up, or something like that, forensics should be able to reveal that. So, we're waiting on, that sort of evidence to be revealed, and uncovered, if any. I could tell you that I feel like something is not right with this case. I don't know if what we're looking for is going to be something that's going to be coming from that video. Everybody's focused on the video right now, but sometimes you'll be surprised how it'll be the smallest piece of evidence that may not even be related to the video, because sometimes a video can really mislead you, have you thinking, XYZ when it's really ABC, and it's staring you right in the face and you just don't see it. So this is the sort of thing that I'm taking into consideration as a whole in this situation. I don't want to get too fixated on just the video, because there could be other evidence that may be being overlooked. But again, they said there's no video of her walking into the freezer. That's what they're saying. They don't have a video of her walking into the freezer. We're waiting on toxicology reports and autopsy reports to give us a clear explanation of the cause of death, and was she under the influence of what controlled substance? That it appears that she was under the influence of a controlled substance. Just determining what that was, and how she came to be under that influence. How did that happen? So And when I say that, how did it happen? Is it a situation where she maybe drank a little bit when she was with friends? Did she leave out? Did somebody drug her? And that's how she ended up in that situation where she was impaired to that state. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say how she came, how that came to pass. I think that, you know, since we've, you know, we've been dealing with a lot of, you know, we'll put to say it blatantly, we have been in situations where the medical examiners have blatantly lied to cover up something for somebody else, and this is something that we've dealt with. The medical examiners, ambulance, firefighters, you know, people put themselves in positions so that they can aid in murder and in oppression of black folk. So this is something that we have dealt with for a long time. So I think this is why everybody's on high alert and just trying to figure out, you know, we want to be absolute sure that there was no foul play involved with this. Either way, there was definitely negligence on behalf of the whole hotel. I believe that the mother has a strong case against the hotel, and quite frankly, I believe that hotel should be shut down. Period. Just shut down completely. That's my take on it. I think that she should sue them for everything that they got, and that place should be shut down. You know. So yeah, autopsy report, waiting on that toxicology report, and apparently there is no video of her walking into the freezer, which is a clear case of negligence on behalf of the hotel. There should be a camera there. Now, here's the thing. If there is a camera present, then what we need to be trying to focus on is, was there a live feed going through that camera? We need to try to determine if there was a camera in place, was the camera removed? You need to be looking for things like fresh drywall and fresh paint and that sort of thing. And I'm sure this is stuff that people have already done, but this is what I'm thinking about. To be able to determine if there was a live feed coming from that point, from that area. If there's a camera that has been malfunctioned or not working properly in the area where it would make it visible when a person is walking into the freezer. If there's hasn't been an operating camera in that area of the facility, that needs to be made obvious. And of course, that's negligence on behalf of the hotel. I will say this: I have worked in the hotel business before, not necessarily as a the hell? She got like something stuck in her window, in her wheel, like a bird or something stuck in her wheel. Anyway, so I've worked in the business before. I remember being in two situations. One situation where a woman had drank too much. She was dating a guy that was an ass, and she had fallen over and body's exposed and everything. He left her there, and it was crazy. We ended up getting her sorted out. He thought he was going back into that party, but he was not. I made sure that his ass was not going back in that building. You want to leave this woman, you want to treat her like shit, so I'm going to throw your ass out like you ain't shit. So that's basically what I did. He wasn't coming back in there. So her homegirl came, got her in an Uber, made sure she was straight. I had some other women help her up and, get her seated, set her down next to me until the Uber arrived and her homegirl was there. The girl that I spoke to on the phone, made sure it was her. They came to pick her up. They got an Uber and they, and that whole thing. So there's another situation I can think of. Mother and father, it was like a cheerleader convention sort of thing. This is a different facility, a different hotel. And somehow, they mom and dad's been drinking. They've been to the bar and they've been drinking, and I think they planned on going back to the hotel room and having a little get together. But somehow Mom ends up making her way towards the kitchen, and Dad's making his way towards a restricted area. They got separated somehow because they had, they were inebriated. They were under the influence. They had, had a little too much. So, but this hotel that I was working for, they made their guests, they treat their guests as if priority. It's important. They treat their investment, quite frankly, as priority. So this hotel went through the measures of installing cameras, a sophisticated system in areas where there was new construction, just in case we have an event, something goes on where clients or guests somehow stumble their way into this restricted area. So not only is there cameras, but there's alarms and notifications, security team and maintenance, and all the people working in that area were all responsible for the guests. Everybody was responsible for the guests, right? Everybody. Not just security, not just the maintenance, not just the people working, everybody. And everybody was in communication with everybody else. If somebody's going into that restricted area, that is a fucking code red, right? That wasn't the code, but I'm just saying that was like high alert. Everybody get that person out of there. Why? Because it's a chance that person can hurt themselves. You see what I'm saying? It's a restricted area, freezers, all kind of stuff was back in that area. You know what I mean? And we could go back there, of course, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's a prohibited area. So the fact that this woman was able to just stroll right into that place, there's no locks, there's nothing stopping her, and there's no kind of sophisticated system to alert the staff that someone is in this area and we need to get them out of there. I looked at the video of her strolling through that hall and stumbling all over the place, and for me, I envision the people watching on the camera just look at her, she's stumbling around back and forth. If they even looking, the systems seem to be outdated. The cameras are not clear. It's a problem that I've had with other facilities that I've worked for. I've been in places where people, you have millions of dollars coming in and out of those doors every day, hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in and out of this facility every day, or simply going into this facility. And you have the cheapest security system that was built in like 1975, 1981 or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like you got these old ass cameras. You don't get a clear picture. You can't zoom. It's you know what I'm saying? It's not like one of those type of cameras where you can, you dig what I'm saying? It's just like they have these old, and then they got guards that they obviously don't pay the guards enough money to really give a damn, and if something goes wrong, they just blame it on the security guard. Oh, it's the security guard's fault. He wasn't paying attention, something of that nature. Well, here's the problem with that. So you blame it on the security guard. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fire that guy, right? So you fire that guy, paying that guy $35,000, $40,000 a year, something like that. Did you save money? Yep, you saved how much? $35,000? $40? No, you saved about a good $2,000. Because you're gonna fire that guy, and by the time another pay period rolls around, you're gonna need another guard there for insurance purposes. Right? So you really didn't accomplish anything. I don't understand why sometimes it's like the hardest thing in the world to try to convince people to invest in a more sophisticated system, especially if you have a facility that has hundreds of thousands of dollars coming through the door. Right? So this is my beef with the hotel. First of all, is why y'all got them cheap ass cameras. Right? You can't see shit. You can barely make out her face or what. How are you doing? You got how much money you got coming in and out of that place? You can't afford a better system. You can't afford a system that locks prohibited areas. If you're not going to install a system that is going to alert your staff immediately by way of alarm, signal, sound, something, some form of notification, prohibited area, someone's in a prohibited area, get your ass in there now. Right? Something. Nothing. Why? Because you're trying to save a buck. And now someone has lost their life. Someone has lost their life. And, it's when someone gets injured or something. Now you get sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars when you could have just took hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know, 30,000, 50,000, 60. You could have taken. I can look into the paperwork and get more accurate numbers, but I'm saying you're gonna have to invest some money, yes, but you can invest money in a situation in a more advanced system and save lives of your clients. But is that priority to you? That sort of thing. So I don't know, man. That's my beef with Rosemont, with the hotel. They had an old raggedy, rinky-dink, cheap system, man. I can see that it seemed like there's some sort of motion sensor involved, but looking at the quality of them cameras, that's some cheap shit that they using in there. That's some old cheap ass cameras, right? When she was coming down that hall, you knew that area leaded to an area that is prohibited. There should be some kind of indication to get people down there immediately, and that is something that I found troubling. So, but beside all of that, aside, I have some clips that I'll add to the end of this commentary that you can check out. It's a gentleman that is basically describing where he sees a guy with the blue jacket. He believes he sees a guy with the blue jacket kind of hiding in the room, in the kitchen. And my thing is this: if this guy was involved and it was foul play, and this guy was a part of that foul play, then why are they covering it up? This guy would probably have to be in connection with someone of a certain level of relevance, because quite frankly, I don't think that they would go through this extreme or this measure to just cover it up just for some random, some random kid that's, it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense. So he would have to know something, you know what I mean? And that would be the only reason I would see them trying to cover him up, because, he would probably just squeal, You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't want to get too lost in theories of, organ harvesting and all of that stuff, man, because of the lack of evidence to support it right now. Now, I'm not completely excluding it. I do realize it's a possibility. But when you start thinking of, okay, what would be the reason? What would they be covering up? And frankly, what would be the reason for the cover-up? And the things that come to my mind would be, is two things, really. It's someone of relevance seeing her, this beautiful young girl walking through here, that is drunk, and he wanted to take advantage of her. That's one thing. The other thing would be, I would probably be the organ, harvesting, simply because there was an issue in close proximity to the hotel there was that involved this organ harvesting fiasco. So yeah, that's the only two things that kind of makes me question, is that a possibility? I'll say it certainly is a possibility, but we need to eliminate everything that you need to, process of elimination is basically what I'm about to say. We need to take advantage of that. And right now, it's just not really a whole lot of evidence, I would say, that supports that. at least evidence that we know of, you know. So and if it is, and I'm missing that, that I'm talking about empirical evidence now. You know, if that's the case, then hey, if you see it out there, share it, man, and get that information to the mom or whoever, to her lawyers, and let's do whatever we can to try to assist her legal team in getting a resolve that fits, you know. So again, this is your boy Thano. You watching Thano Self-Help. Regular people helping each other help themselves. I'm going to go ahead and play these clips for you, and you know, again, we're waiting autopsy report and toxicology. That's where it's at right now. And you know, apparently there's no video of her walking into the freezer. So, all right, thanks for watching.